My stepdad said, "From now on, you don't exist to me or your mother." 4 years later, I made him homeless. My stepfather, Dane, said that his first night in my house. I looked at my mom, waiting for her to tell him to get out. Instead, she said, "Dane and I talked. We need to put all our energy into his son, into Duke." My dad had been dead 11 months. I was the one who needed something. Anything. "You're tough," she said. "You've always been the strong one. So from now on," Dane said, "you're on your own. You don't come to us for money, for rides, for help with school. You bring us a problem, the answer is no." "Mom," I said, "he's telling you that you're not allowed to be my mother anymore." She sighed. That sigh. The one that meant I was the difficult one. I looked at her one more time, begging her without saying a word. She didn't say anything. "Fine," I said. "I don't need any of you anyway." Dane smiled. "Good boy." 2 weeks later, I came home from school and my room was empty. The loft bed my dad built out of 2x4s and a Saturday. My desk, the shelves he cut and sanded and stained the color of dark honey, gone. Duke stood in the middle of the floor filming himself. "This is going to be my training room." He saw me and grinned. "Oh, hey, you're home. Where's my stuff?" "Garage. Dad wanted it cleared before the flooring guys come." He knocked on the wall. "And that ugly wood thing by the door is coming out too. The trim, it's all scratched up. Dad says it looks like garbage." Something went very quiet inside my chest. My dad used to make me stand against that door frame barefoot every birthday morning. He'd lay a book flat on my head, slide it down until it touched, take the pencil from behind his ear, and draw a line with the date beside it in his terrible handwriting. 11 lines on that frame. The last one was from the birthday before he got sick. He drew it, and stepped back and said, "You're going to pass me, kid. Give it 2 years." He never got the 2 years. Duke wasn't even being cruel. He genuinely couldn't tell the difference between a record of a boy growing up and a scuffed piece of pine. I went downstairs. Dane was at the kitchen table scrolling through gym flooring. "You're gutting my room?" He didn't look up. "Duke's room now. You don't have the right." And he finally raised his eyes with that patient, tired expression he used every time he was about to say something unforgivable. "Your father is dead. That trim is a piece of pine. Those marks are pencil. At some point, you have to stop using a dead man as a reason to make everyone else's life difficult." He sat in my father's kitchen, at a table my father built, in a house my father framed with his own hands, telling me I was holding it hostage by missing him. The next 3 years taught me how to vanish. I worked 2 jobs. I held a 4.0. I stopped asking my mother for anything because I knew the answer. The only thing keeping me upright was the $50,000 my dad put in a college fund, dollar by dollar, for 17 years. Then, senior year, I told my mother I needed to access it for school. The color went out of her face. "There were expenses after he died," she said. "We had to make adjustments." Dane appeared in the doorway drying his hands. "That money was absorbed into household finances years ago. We're one family. We share resources." "Absorbed into what?" "Duke's development. Do you have any idea what a season costs? Ice time, travel, a private coach twice a week. Your father's money gave him a shot." I turned to my mother. "You spent my college fund on hockey." She couldn't look at me. "The money was just sitting there and we needed it." "I'm sorry your father made promises he wasn't around to keep," Dane snapped. "But it's gone and you need to grow up. You'll land on your feet. You always do. You're strong and capable and independent." The old me would have put a hole in the drywall and given them the exact scene they'd been writing for 3 years. Instead, I nodded. "You wanted me independent," I said. "Congratulations." Then I drove to my grandfather's because he was the only person left alive who said my father's name out loud without flinching first. He opened the door before I knocked, looked at my face for 2 seconds, and stepped back to let me in. I told him all of it. He listened the whole way through without a word, then shook his head and said, "Your father knew. He always knew." "Knew what?" He pulled a folder down from the cabinet over the refrigerator, thick, the corners soft from being handled, and started laying paper across the table. "Your dad wasn't a fool," he said. "He knew exactly who he married. He knew she was soft, that she'd remarry inside a year, because she has never once been able to be alone in a room. And he knew whoever came through that door next would try to take everything he built. He slid one document across the wood toward me, so he made a plan. Click here to watch part 2 of the story.